Hey, thanks for joining me today. Oh, we are live. It is January 30th. Everything looks to be up and connected. That is fantastic. Flame on. We got to get this going. And everyone that's watching live, flame on. There we go. Everyone that's watching live, thank you for being live, joining me. Flames in the chat. If you are watching this on replay, you're watching this not live later on, immediately following the live show, I will go and put time codes in for all the stories that I'm doing today. So you can skip this opening nonsense. You don't have to listen to me ramble. You don't have to see the countdown of the little drone. You don't need any of that stuff. What you can do is just skip to the story that you're interested in. So if there's a topic that I'm covering and you're like, I'm done with this, Tom, you can just click to the next story or click to the end, to the positive story of the day. That's totally fine. So I hope that works. Let's see. Apparently I'm not getting a smooth streaming on YouTube. So let me check that out, see if we got that going. Apparently we're glitchy. So, hey, what's up, Jody? Volume is pretty low. Oh, dear. How about now? Are we doing better? I do not know what that is about. So, okay, pretty. Okay. So, hopefully we got this technical stuff out of the way. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up, N-Man? Legalese, nice to see you, Flame On. Apparently I didn't load this bad boy up with juice. Let's see, does this one have juice? Here's a little, apparently I need a new lighter. That's not frustrating. No flame today. What a start to the week. But that will not be, let that not be a sign for the show, because I got some good stories for you today. I think you will find them interesting. So what are they? We're going to talk about the Hamilton 68 fraud. You may or may not have heard about that yet. I'm going to talk about a Fireball lawsuit. I'm talking about the whiskey, the candy flavored whiskey. What's going on with that? Maxine Waters said some nonsense. I usually avoid her, but I just have some thoughts about this today. And lastly, for the positive story of the day, I want to talk about Mr. Beast. He is saving eyes, saving lives. He had a big viral video with millions and millions of views. I'm sure you may have seen it, but if not, I wanted to chat about that because I think what he's doing is really awesome. Just a reminder that my name's Tom Coffey. The show's Coffee and Nuance. I appreciate you, the audience, much more than you realize. I really do. Some people reached out to me to help me with some technical stuff, and I really can tell that some of you care, and that means a lot to me because there's been a lot of BS going on with some of the streaming platforms that I've had to deal with. But enough about that. Let's get into the first story. Russia. All right, here we are. Let's talk about Hamilton 68. Now, I don't know, have you heard about Hamilton 68? It was the latest Twitter files. They broke it down. I think anyone that was into it kind of knew the whole thing was BS when they formed 4 years ago or whatever. But here's the story. According to the latest release of the Twitter files, a left-wing think tank I'd call it a deep state think tank, Hamilton 68, claimed to track Russian online activity, was responsible for thousands of Russia online activity. Was responsible for thousands of fake stories about Russia's interference and influence in U.S. politics. The think tank was founded by a former FBI agent, and operated under the Alliance of Securing Democracy. It's funny how those always have Orwellian names, isn't it? It also had members such as top Clinton ally John Podesta, Obama-era acting CIA director Michael Morrell, and others. I think Bill Kristol was there. So you got, former CIA chiefs, former campaign strategists, all for the Democrats. This sounds legit. But the Twitter files revealed that Hamilton 68's claims were frequently challenged internally by Twitter executives and found to be false in their internal audits. Yoel Roth, Twitter's then head of trust and safety, wanted to publicly push back against Hamilton 68, but was warned against doing so by their then head of global policy communication. Hamilton 68's allegations were used in hundreds or thousands of news stories during the Trump years. And that's true. This was used as an excuse for anything in journalism. It was great if you were a journalist and you needed a story. What you could do is you could go to the Hamilton 68 dashboard. It was this web interface. And you could put in stories and it would tell you if the Russians were promoting it or what are the Russians promoting today. And it's all nonsense. It was all nonsense. Matt Taibbi did a great breakdown of this. I saw a video from that Tucker had with Glenn Greenwald like 4 years ago, and Glenn Greenwald just laid out exactly that this was all nonsense. But the entire media just went with it, Oh, I need a story to write. What can I do? I just go to the thing and see what the Russians are promoting, and I can just do a story on how the Russians are promoting this story of the day. Turned out most of them were just, regular people, regular conservative, Republican, kind of pro-Trump people is who it was. But here's what they claimed that they were doing. They said that they were tracking the activities of 644 accounts linked to Russian influence. And this secret list was reverse engineered by Twitter, and it found only 36 of the 644 accounts, so what's that, 5%, were registered in Russian. And the majority of them were English-speaking legitimate accounts in the U.S., Canada, and Britain. Hamilton 68 labeled American and Canadian citizens as Russian stooges. No evidence, no recourse. It's not that they were doing a bad job. This was a scam from the get-go. And it accused conservative conversations on Twitter of being Russian. So that was the story. But what did what's the media saying about this story? Let's see. I know that the Washington Post certainly covered this a lot. So here's an example. Top Democrats warn of ongoing attack by the Russian government. So this was a story that was talking about the hashtag release the memo, but the Washington Post didn't stop there. They had articles that used Hamilton 68 as a source. Again, here's another story about the Internet Research Agency, troll farms, and it was all verified by Hamilton 68. Washington Post. Well, since this came out, I think Friday this came out, what has the Washington Post published in response to this? They've used this source for many, many things. what did the Washington Post publish over the weekend in response to finding out that this is all a scam? No results for Hamilton 68 for the last week. How about that? We do have, someone with the last name Hamilton, and, maybe there were 68 points in a game, but that has nothing to do with it. And here's an obituary of someone in Virginia. They may have been 68 years old, but nothing about Hamilton 68 at the Washington Post. So that's journalism. How about the New York Times? Well, they had lots of stories, such as this one. Twitter, with accounts linked to Russia to face Congress over role in election. And this story had to do with Russian influence, and they cite their source, Hamilton 68. And they do a nice puff piece on what a great organization the Alliance for Securing Democracy is, how they're looking out for you and me to make sure that we get the true information. But now that it's been revealed that this was a total scam, yeah, let's see what they said. They did more stories on how Russians were promoting gun control, talking about gun control, or being against gun control. All these things, all linked to Russia. New York Times, results for Hamilton 68 within the last week. Look at that, no results. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Dies in darkness, right? So scam articles die in darkness as well. So what are you going to do about that? But that is truly amazing that this has been a fraud for years. Many people have known that it was nonsense for years. All the media used it as a source. And now there's no talk of it when it's been exposed as a scam. No one's mentioned it. Was this on Meet the Press? No. Over the weekend, this week with George Stephanopoulos, this would be a good story because it has to do with the press and politics. But no, nothing. Nothing there. And so that is why, that's one of the reasons that you cannot rely on the corporate press, is they're keeping the truth from you. I would like to see someone do a follow-up story and at least acknowledge what's going on here, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Somewhat depressing, but what are you going to do, right? I guess what I can do is talk about booze. So I want to know, do you drink Fireball? Yeah. Oh, look at my Chiron here. The B is messed up. What happened here? What's going on? How about that? There's no whiskey in many bottles of Fireball. Now, consumers are suing Sazerac Company, the makers of Fireball whiskey, for fraud and misrepresentation, as many bottles labeled Fireball Cinnamon do not contain whiskey, but a blend of malt beverage and wine. Customers realized the product description said malt beverage with natural whiskey and other flavors and caramel color, suggesting whiskey is an ingredient, but it only uses whiskey flavor. Lawsuit argues that given the lack of whiskey, the 99-cent price for the little 1.7 fluid ounce bottle is overpriced. Question, right? If they're selling something for 99 cents, you actually think there's going to be whiskey in it? Like, that was the thing that really threw me off. Like, they're selling these for 99 cents? Of course it doesn't have whiskey in it. Well, I looked up some other stories, and here's what we have. We have Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, which is the candy-tasting whiskey type product. Now, technically, Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey isn't even whiskey. If you want to be technical, right, whiskey should be 40% alcohol, and I think Fireball's 33% alcohol. So it doesn't even reach the level of what is expected to label yourself whiskey. I don't know how they get away with it, but whatever the case may be. But we're talking about these little things called Fireball Cinnamons. And you can see here on the label, they don't say that it's whiskey. You know, it's just cinnamon. It's a popular hard liquor in Maine, Fireball whiskey, but they have something that sells for 99-cent mini bottles at many stores, including gas stations, grocery stores, and they're labeled Fireball whiskey. They don't contain actual whiskey, but it's a malt beverage with wine and natural whiskey flavors. The similarity in appearance between the two products is believed to be for brand recognition purposes, and I would say that as well. So they're selling a product in a place that they're not allowed to sell whiskey. They're selling it in stores that can't sell whiskey. And they're selling it for 99 cents. And some people are mystified that there's no whiskey in it. This is truly incredible. You can even go on the Fireball website here. And one of their, in their FAQ, what is Fireball Cinnamon? It's a product including malt-based, wine-based alcohol beverage, whereas Fireball whiskey is whiskey-based. Unlike Fireball whiskey, Fireball Cinnamon, malt or wine-based products can be sold in beer, malt beverage, and wine stores for our fans who want a wider variety of convenient shopping locations. So they can sell this in places that they're not allowed to sell liquor. And people are mad that it's not liquor. This is really dumb. This is really dumb. This is a really silly lawsuit. Really silly lawsuit, but we have lots of silly lawsuits. My question is, Fireball, right? I actually like the taste of Fireball, but I don't think I would brag that I think it's good, right? It's candy. It tastes like candy, like the Fireball candy. That's what it tastes like, okay? Like, yeah, I mean, I think people like it because it's full of sugar, and but it's not even real whiskey. It doesn't even have the alcohol content of whiskey. It's candy. And these little tiny 99-cent mini bottles that have a little, maybe made from like a fortified wine with lots of sugar and cinnamon flavor. Yeah, of course there's no whiskey in them. This is candy. This is candy booze. That's what it is. Candy booze, but it's still tasty, right? It's likewise. A lot of people like McDonald's fries, but it's not it's not it's not the best cuisine there is in the world. But people like it. People like Fireball. It's not whiskey. And these little ones that aren't even labeled whiskey, well, they're certainly not either. But let me cue Candy by Cameo. That's right. Oh, I love that song. Anyway, let's talk about rhetoric when you are on the news. Okay. Maxine Waters. Now, I often don't like to even talk about some people. I don't think they deserve attention. And sometimes it's a bad look to make fun of someone just based on all their characteristics, you can get accused of things. But Maxine Waters really did it this weekend. And I haven't seen any pushback on this whatsoever. A Democratic representative from California, she called some right-wing conservatives in the House of Representatives domestic terrorists in an interview on MSNBC's Ayman. She expressed lack of optimism for police reform in Congress because of the extremist behavior of these individuals and said it will only change when the public decides not to elect such individuals. Now, I think this rhetoric will only change when we decide not to elect her. I'm still trying to figure out this streaming stuff and how I can play a clip, just a clip of something. Haven't figured that out yet. I'll get to that. But here's an exact quote. This is a literal quote of what she said. She said, and she's referencing Marjorie Taylor Greene when she's saying this. She says, quote, "We have these right-wing conservatives. We have domestic terrorists in the House of Representatives. These people are extremists." And I would like to know, how is that helpful to say that? Because if she really thinks that they are domestic terrorists, she should probably call the police or call the FBI. If we have domestic terrorists in the House of Representatives, we should probably do something. But if she's not doing that, what is she doing? She is inciting people. She's inciting her audience. Because if you're violent towards someone, it's not that big a deal if you're violent towards someone that's a domestic terrorist, right? That's what you would expect. You dehumanize someone. You put them on the lowest level, and a domestic terrorist, who would object to bad things happening to domestic terrorists? Well, probably not most people. But I think to call another member of Congress that is inexcusable. If you really believe it, then you should be calling the FBI. You should have those people arrested if you really think they're domestic terrorists. But she's not doing that. And I would challenge anyone to ask any representative of the Democratic Party, do you stand with Maxine Waters when she says that there are domestic terrorists in the House of Representatives? And will you condemn those words? Because if that was said by anyone else, it would be front page news. But it appears to me that because Maxine Waters, for whatever reason you may think, gets a pass, that she can make these kinds of statements and get away with it. And the media doesn't push back at all. Why is the media not questioning this? Why did the interviewer, Ayman, I'm not familiar with him, I watched the clip, on MSNBC, why didn't he push back? Domestic terrorists in the House of Representatives? We have members of the House that are actual domestic terrorists? Wow. No pushback whatsoever on this. And this is the kind of rhetoric that gets people killed. Nothing good comes from this type of talk. I don't expect anything better from her. She's said all kinds of terrible things in the past. I have no expectations of Maxine Waters. But I do have expectations of other people to at least call that out. And I'm not seeing that at all. Everyone is complicit in this kind of talk. And that's disgusting. That's disgusting. I would like to know if your local Democratic politician, your governor, state rep, are they cool with this kind of talk? Dehumanizing, essentially calling people traitors? Yeah, it's disgusting. And I suspect no one will ask the president about that statement. There'll be no pushback. None at all. I'll follow up on this in a week and see if anyone in the press push back on this rhetoric. But I don't think they will. That's my prediction. But I could be wrong. I'm often wrong. But enough of this negativity. I want to get to a positive story, and it is about Mr. Beast. Let's get to that. All right. And look here, the B is also messed up on my Chiron. Not sure what that is about. But Mr. Beast, he is a YouTube star. He's got over 100 million subscribers. I am certainly not trying to promote him. He doesn't need my promotion. He's one of the biggest influencers in the entire world. But a lot of the content that he makes is for younger people. And, I'm not a subscriber, but I did see this video. He helps 1,000 blind people see again by sponsoring cataract surgeries. Yeah. Crazy, right? So YouTube content creator Mr. Beast, his real name is Jimmy Donaldson, has paid for 1,000 cataract surgeries for blind or near blind people who could not afford it. The surgeries were performed in Jacksonville, Florida, and other locations around the world with the help of the Gift of Sight program and nonprofit SEE International. The surgeries took place over a period of 3 weeks, and the patients' before and after footage was shared in a video that reached over 32 million views. Ophthalmologist and surgeon Jeff Levinson, who performed these surgeries, hopes that the video will inspire a larger effort to end blindness caused by cataracts, which can be corrected with a simple 10-minute surgery. And that was the thing that really shocked me about this, is this surgery is 10 minutes. It only costs a couple grand. And it's not all blindness, right? It's blindness through these cataract things. What happens, apparently, is the cornea just gets filled up with stuff. I'm being totally medical here. Filled up with stuff. And the surgeries, they go in and they suck out anything that was underneath the cornea so that the person can see again. And it was truly amazing that it's that little of a thing. And that quick of a surgery, I don't think anyone in the world should not be able to see because they can't get this surgery. It's astonishing, in the United States, this is the wealthiest country in the history of history. We should be able to take care of these things for people, even if they have no money, even if they are living on the street, whatever the case may be. They have no money. This is something that we can do. It's truly amazing the times that we live in that they're able to do this. Semi-related to this, I guess was technically blind. My eyesight was terrible. I think it was, on the old scale, it was 2800, right? 2800. And what that means, if I understand correctly, is that, so 20/20 means you can see at 20 feet what you should be able to see at 20 feet. 2800 means that at 20 feet, you can only see what you should be able to see at 800 feet. That's my oversimplified explanation of it. And so I had these huge Coke bottle glasses growing up. I mean, they were really thick. And I had RK done, radial keratotomy done, and it was life-changing for me. Back then, this was before LASIK. They would just cut the cornea with with a scalpel. It's kind of odd. I mean, the guy just put me down and put his put his forearm over my forehead, and he just went in and just started cutting using the scalpel to cut the cornea. But after that, I could see, and now I have 20/20 vision. Ever since, it was amazing, and that was life-changing for me. And I just had really bad vision. Not like these people. They couldn't really see much at all. And a 10-minute surgery can save them. I got to hand it to Mr. Beast for doing good. That's one of the questions that often comes up is when you have all the resources in the world, when you have everything at your disposal, what are you doing with it? And so often we see rich people, celebrities, not really impressive what they're doing with it. But Mr. Beast is one of those people that is making the world a better place. And I think that it is inspirational to see what that happen. It's kind of a feel-good thing. I do appreciate it. That's it. Those are the stories that I have for you today. Stick around out in the after show. I will get to your comments and tell you some other stuff, what's going on. But I appreciate you. If you made it this far, hit the like button. I appreciate the like. That's something that you can do that can help the channel. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have an awesome day. Peace. All right, we're back. All right, we are back. And thanks everyone for being here. First, I want to check in with all the other platforms today, see if anything is happening. I did stream for the over on Twitch today. Doesn't look like anyone was there, but why would they? Because who knows? Who knows about it? And I was able to make it so that hopefully you can see the replay on Twitch afterwards. So hopefully I got those settings correct. I am on Twitter, apparently live on Twitter. I don't see any comments or anything from that, but I got it to work on Twitter, so that's cool. Odyssey, nope, still nobody over on Odyssey. We got to figure out how to grow that channel over there. And let's see, Rev 68 is here, and Duggo 42 is here over on Rumble. So that is cool. I'm looking at that. We got 10 people watching on Rumble. Holy cow, that's amazing. So thanks everybody on Rumble for doing that. That is great. And lastly, let's go check out what is happening on YouTube. What's up, Jody? Legalese and Man? Any thoughts on Paul Pelosi? I tell you what, if you draw a conclusion based on what you saw, you're just projecting, okay? You can't read minds. So it looked really funny. To me, it looked really odd when I saw it, but I don't know what was going on. It looked really weird to me. But if you conclude that, like, he was having some big gay affair, I don't think there's evidence of that. If you conclude that 100% he wasn't, I don't see how you can conclude that either. It did look very odd. That's all I can say about that. Brian asks, am I live now or is this a replay? I am live now, yes. Live noon on the West Coast. So what's up, Brian? I appreciate you reaching out to me for help on Twitch. That is really cool. Thank you much. If the chat is active, it is a live feed. Yes. Apothecary John, got the flames. Nice. You can have a chat feed, not an active chat when you're part of the dialogue. I'm not an expert on all this chat stuff yet. So Gullible Skeptic says, well, she is Waters, and it is her world. That's a good reference. Natasha had RK in one eye, not the other. Yeah, RK changed my life. It really did. It was very difficult playing sports, not being able to see. Sometimes I would have these goggles that were really thick, and sometimes I had nothing, and I would play without glasses. And that was tricky. Like when I ran track, I didn't have any glasses at all, and it was all a blur. Everything was a blur when I did that. So RK was great for me. I tried Rumble to see if the feed was better, and it was the same. Oh. Well, I've got to figure out some of the settings to make sure we get a good feed. So I will keep working on that. And Doug is here, got here late. That's okay. You can watch the replay. Good to see you, Doug. Anyway, lastly, I did find out YouTube did reverse. They let me know that they made a mistake on my channel, and they told me that they would reverse the punishment that they've done to my channel. Now, they've yet to do it, and they told me it would be within 48 hours, and it's yet to happen, but at least they did tell me that it was an error, and human looked at it, and they said it was an error. So we'll see if the warning, strike, whatever it is, gets removed. I hope so, but it's still there right now. So anyway, that's all I have. Lastly, my link tree. I was informed that my link tree was shut down because I apparently did something wrong. I didn't do anything wrong, and I've been in chats with them to try to figure out how to restore my link tree account. So again, you get targeted for, I don't know, being middle of the road milquetoast and logical, I guess. I don't know. But anywho, that's all I have for you today. I will again keep working on making the show better, and hopefully we can fix this stream so that we don't have issues with that. I will get back into the nuts and bolts of all of the numbers and the analytics and see if I can make some adjustments. So going forward, it will be even better. I really appreciate you all more than you think. I really do. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.